Finland is a diverse country with 4 distinct seasons. Along with inspiring landscapes and opportunities to spot wildlife, Finnish nature provides an ideal learning environment for a wide range of different skills. Nature is very important to us Finns. It's one of the things that makes us the happiest nation in the world. While you're here, try the Finnish way and connect with nature. Turn off your phone and listen to what nature has to say. But before you do, you should know a few things. Here we have a few tips to help you get the most out of your trip, while helping keep Finnish nature beautiful and pristine for others to enjoy. Spring is when nature wakes up and comes back to life after the long winter. The sound of ice melting and birds singing provide the soundtrack to Finnish spring. Soon, the air will be full of migrating birds returning north. In Finnish Lapland, a single summer day lasts for over 2 months. In the southern parts of the country, it doesn't really get dark either at night, instead entering a period of twilight for a few hours. This is why we call Finland the land of the midnight sun. This is the season known as ruska, when the autumnal reds, browns, and yellows are especially beautiful on the fells of Lapland. The woods are dotted with wild, edible berries and mushrooms. Something we have here, known as everyman's rights, allows you to roam freely and pick almost anything your heart and mouth desires, but only as much as you can eat, and of course, within certain guidelines. During January and February, there is almost always snow in northern and eastern Finland. Even if the thermometer reads minus 20 degrees Celsius, it doesn't feel as cold as you might think, thanks to the dry continental climate. Dress warmly and enjoy the northern lights that are visible for roughly 200 nights of the year, or every other clear night, in Finnish Lapland. What to wear when going hiking in summer? Wear what feels comfortable and suitable for the duration of the hike. For example, jogging shoes, comfortable trousers, and a t-shirt or shirt appropriate for the weather. When thinking of what clothing is appropriate for the weather, the time of year or just looking outside might not provide sufficient information. Finland is a long country with varying climates, and the weather can change quickly, especially out in the open wilderness. Therefore, it's best to always be prepared, not just for the worst possible weather, but in case you get lost or injured. We suggest taking some dry spare clothes, an extra layer or 2, and a waterproof jacket or poncho, just in case. For longer trips, you will need to take more clothing for a wider range of conditions. Check the longer-term weather forecast and prepare for the worst forecast. Once outdoors, you will need to wear less layers while you're active. During breaks, you should put on something warm and dry. Remember to always take a bottle of water, especially in warm weather. What should you remember when outdoors in nature? We're lucky to have such wonderful national parks here in Finland with a huge number of visitors. The main purpose of national parks, though, is to protect nature, not just provide places for recreation. With a little cooperation, we can make sure all these different needs are met. Just remember a few simple things. You can look at animals, but at a distance. This is particularly important during nesting season when all bird life is protected. If the animals are disturbed by your presence, you're too close. Using binoculars, you can maintain a safe distance. Remember that it's not just moving creatures that are protected. There are lots of different plants in the national parks, and some of them are extremely rare. So please stay on the marked trail and don't enter the restricted areas. It's okay to pick berries and mushrooms, but please, leave all other plants alone. Paying attention to how you move and where you move becomes even more important when the place is popular. Although one step doesn't cause erosion on the terrain, hundreds or thousands of steps will. Stay on marked trails. Then, any wear and tear will be on the maintained trail and not on the surrounding environment. Some areas might have restrictions on where and when to move. For example, many islands and beaches are protected for nesting during spring and summer. There are also places where moving off the marked trail is forbidden altogether. For more information, go to www.nationalparks.fi. You should also think about how you plan to get around. For example, mountain biking is not permitted everywhere. Bike trails are marked separately on the trails page for each destination. You may pick any berries and mushrooms, but remember that not all are edible. National parks have plenty of shelters where you can make a fire. Most shelters come equipped with a stocked woodshed and an axe for splitting wood. Before leaving for your trip, check on the Weather Forecast Service if there's a forest fire warning. If there is, you should not make a fire. Litter does not belong in nature. Posting a photo on social media doesn't get rid of the problem. It's much easier to pick up litter instead. When there's one piece, there will soon be more. By picking up litter, you're doing more good than you realize. Don't try to get rid of litter by burning it. Always take litter to an appropriate litter collection point. This applies to both your own litter and any piece of litter you come across. A plastic bottle can take up to 1,000 years to decompose. You can put a small amount of leftover food into a composting toilet. Don't leave banana peels or eaten apples all over the camping site. Compostable waste includes fruit and vegetables, leftover bread, and most food items. Some places don't allow compostable waste to be put in the toilets at all. Please always read the instructions on the toilet wall. A good tip is to always have a small bin bag with you. If someone has left their rubbish around, you can show a good example by picking it up and doing your bit to keep the surroundings litter-free. Finnish nature is waiting for you. See you on the trails and by the campfire.